Good afternoon. Welcome to Prop 5 from the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Make sure to sign up with PrizePicks.com, one of our great sponsors here at the network, using promo code FIVE. It's legal in 31 states. Hopefully, they're going to work their way back into Florida. But you are able to see the projections on the board. But for a lot of viewers that we have outside the state of Florida and those 31 other states, make sure you sign up, use promo code FIVE. So I got Major Passons here with me. I'm David Eversole, and we're going to talk about a really important game for the Heat tonight as they come off of a double overtime game last night. They're going to host Dallas on a back-to-back, their last back-to-back of the season, thankfully. So super important game for the Heat, obviously, in terms of just getting in the playoff mix and seeing where they stand here. So glad to have Major with me. We're going to take a look at the Heat projections here in just a second. So want to get your feel for the game just overall, obviously, after the effort last night from the Heat. What do you expect from them in the game? And then we're going to focus on Jimmy Butler to start. So what do you think of Miami in terms of coming into this game after last night's long one?
Yeah, I'm initially a little bit nervous. It's second night of back-to-back double overtime. Not ideally how you want to start out, but with how big of a game it is, I know they've had some letdowns recently, but I'm going to decide to trust them today. I feel like they got to show up, right? It's getting to that point in the season where it's like show up or, it's all over. So this is tend to when they play their best. So I'm going to trust them today. Speaking of that, I'm going to go with a Jimmy Butler prop here. Over 5 assists. Jimmy has been dishing the ball pretty well recently. As you see, it hit 3 of the last 5, as well as ending right at 5 another game. But he has been just turning it up, and when he does that, especially in big games, he tends to rack up a lot of assists. With Dallas, I expect a lot of points to be able to be scored. We'll see if the Heat make their shots. But I like this prop from Jimmy. I think you had another Jimmy prop, right?
Yeah, you got to look at the 3 points made. I think they're giving you a free square here with half of 3 on the Goblin play. Obviously, a little bit of a lesser play out. So you want to look at something to balance that, which I have another play to balance this with, actually a couple. But he's been over this 8 out of 10. And I feel like the Dallas defense, the way they play on offense, it leads to shots in transition. If Jimmy can get some corner looks, he's taking more. He's not making, a ton, but I feel like he could just keep this kind of 1 to 2 made per game streak going. So I like him over on half of 3 on the Goblin play. But looking at Bam Adebayo, you got some interesting numbers here with him. His regular line is at 18 points, and his demon play, which will give you a higher payout, is at 19 and a half. So if I was going to play Bam on the points, I would just go ahead and take a shot at that demon play. What do you think of Bam tonight, Major?
Yeah, I think Bam has an opportunity to have a really big game. Bam props always scare me because I feel like his impact is not always, especially in points. I like playing like his rebounds plus assists because especially in certain matchups he can. But I think against Dallas he has a good opportunity to have a 20-point game. That's all you need for a demon. So it's like it almost feels too good to be true, especially so close to the regular line. It kind of feels like a trap, but it seems like a pretty good line. The other Miami Heat line that I was looking at is a Tyler Hero line of under 0.5 steals. He has not hit this in any of the last 5. He's still coming off injury, second night of a back-to-back and a double overtime. I feel like there's a good chance he does not get a steal. He broke his hand on a steal, so maybe he's not going to really go after too many as much anymore. This one just feels like a sweat, obviously, because it's just one play can change the whole thing.
Right.
But I don't feel like he's going to be able to get a steal. You're playing against Luka and Kyrie. It's not a good defensive matchup for him.
Right. Yeah. We're going to get to the Dallas side in a minute. But Bam over half of 3. That's interesting. You wouldn't have seen that number for about 85% of the season. But now that, that might be one if you want to, if you're a little bit of a risk taker, maybe take a flyer on that half of 3. He is actually taking threes lately. So I feel like Dallas is a team that allows threes. So let's look at the Dallas side. Obviously, you're going to start with Luka here. What do you think of the Luka lines tonight?
Luka lines always, like, when you first look at them, they're huge, but then it's like he hits them every time. So it's like It plays like a weird trick in your mind. I never go under on a Luca line. It's always over, in my opinion, because he's just capable of such massive games. His points feels like a pretty good one, especially if you want, you can pair that Demon 0.5 with Bam with the Goblin 24.5 points for Luca, and then you have a Demon Goblin pair right there. But I mean, I feel like it's pretty safe. He's going to hit 31 points. So I think that's a pretty good one from Luca. Other one on Dallas would be Kyrie Irving, 4.5 rebounds going over there. He's really been, jumping in for the rebounds there. So against the Heat, I feel like there are a lot of rebounds able to be had. So I feel like that one's a pretty good one. He's hit that for the last 5, averaging 5.8 over the last 5. So, and he's been killing it recently.
Outside of Bam, obviously the rebounds are kind of hit or miss with the rest of their guys. But back to Luca, my favorite actually across the board is this combo with Donovan Mitchell, 7 threes made combo. Luca went 7 for 13 on 3 points alone against the Heat in their one matchup this year. He's hitting over 5 threes a game alone in the month of April so far in 4 games. Miami is 24th, obviously, in 3-pointers allowed. Their defense, that's what they want to do. They want you to shoot threes, and they'll live with that. But somebody like Luca, he's a volume shooter. He is streaky, but Miami's a low 3-point percentage team allowed. They're 6th in allowing only 35% from 3. But I think Luca just gets enough volume to probably at least get 4 out of this 7. And then switching to Donovan Mitchell, he's got a good matchup against Memphis, 27th in 3-point percentage allowed. And he's been struggling a little bit of late, but he's usually good for 3 to 4 threes made per game. So I really like this combo with him at 7. If it was 7.5, I might say no, but at least a 7 gives you a fallback in terms of a push. So I'm going to go ahead and take that combo with Luca and Donovan Mitchell over 7 threes. So going to outside of the Heat Dallas game, anything else you like in the rest of the NBA slate? Not a big slate tonight.
Yeah, I'll pivot with your Donovan Mitchell. We'll go to a Max Strus. He's been a popular play across all of PrizePicks. I like his over 7.5 rebounds and assist. Max Strus is a hustle guy, does a little bit of everything. I feel like he rebounds pretty well against Memphis. I think he has a pretty decent matchup to get a lot of rebounds. I don't think Memphis is very good, and match that with Cleveland's defense. I think there's a lot of rebounding opportunities there, as well as if he just dishes out 2 or 3 assists, and you got Donovan Mitchell, Garland, and the bigs to dish it to, it's very likely he gets 3 assists, and then he just has to get about 5 rebounds, which, like I said, with him crashing the boards and how he does, I think that's pretty safe. I like that play a lot. He's hit that for the last 5, averaging 11.4 over the last 5 with games 10, 20. So he's been crushing that lately.
Yeah, that's definitely a friendly number. And like you said, some of those non-point stats are a little bit easier to accumulate in these games. If he's not finding on the offensive end, he's definitely going to do other things to contribute. We saw that with him, of course, here in Miami. So that's our major picks for tonight. So want to thank you for joining me, Major. And Ethan wasn't able to make it, but we're going to have a lot more content throughout the rest of the week, obviously with the NHL, Panthers, Heat, a lot going on still in the world of sports. So I want to thank everybody for watching, and make sure to sign up with PrizePicks using code FIVE.